Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. It's Friday, September the 26th, and I'm heading off into town, unsupervised. I may even stop by the golf course for a cheeky 9 holes. It's near the end of golf season. I think the course is closing October the 11th, so no more golf now until, middle of May, I suppose. Anyways, to boxing. We've talked about rankings before, and again, I don't want to be all negative Nelly about this, but the Ring magazine rankings for the heavyweight division have once again shown that either the ranking system is corrupted, it is inherently biased, or at best, they need to hire new people to assess fighters and position them properly so that all fans worldwide can say, yeah, that's about right. But at the moment, it's a totally topsy-turvy world. Now, I want to put my biases on the table so you all know. I am mostly neutral towards AJ, slightly like him, maybe. And with Tyson Fury, I like him in the ring, but I dislike his public persona outside the ring. You know, the character he plays, right? So if you want to say, am I being totally unbiased? Well, no, I'm not, because I prefer AJ over Fury. But neither are my favorite British boxers at all, right? I mean, there's several fighters I prefer over both. Fabio Wardley and Joe Parker would be two that just come to mind, right? But what we have at the moment by the Ring magazine. Now, the Ring magazine used to be the Bible of boxing, right? It was the place that you would go to look because you had some doubts about one of the alphabet sort of, groups. You know, so-and-so isn't in the WBC, so-and-so isn't in the WBA. But you'd look at the Ring magazine and you'd say, okay, that's probably right. But I don't think we can say that anymore, because the Ring magazine, quite properly, has Alexander Usyk as the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. So he's the C, he's got champion. One slot below at number 1 is Tyson Fury, a man who has been retired, his own words, for a considerable period of time, since his last fight against Alexander Usyk, which he lost, right? He's had back-to-back losses against Alexander Usyk. And he's been retired. He said he's retired. He said on multiple times, I'm retired. It's a young man's game. I'm not coming back. So why is he still number 1? And add to this, why is Anthony Joshua, who has not retired, who has been inactive since his last outing, which was more recently than Tyson Fury's last outing, when he lost to Daniel Dubois, spectacular fashion, why has he dropped out of the top 10? Now, I don't have a beef with AJ dropping out of the top 10, to be perfectly honest. But I have a beef when we've got this retired guy, number 1, and this not retired guy now dropped out. For those of you who aren't aware, Anthony Joshua's slot has been taken by F.A. Ajagba. I don't really have a beef with that. But what I have a beef with is the very obvious 2-tier standards that are being applied. Now, I think we all know that Turki Al-Sheikh, who owns the Ring magazine, he might own it via some various corporate levels, but in effect, he owns the Ring magazine. He's always favoured Tyson Fury. In fact, I think he said that Tyson Fury is my favourite guy, right? And we saw in the run-up to the first fight with Usyk that Tyson Fury was being appeased, having his shoes shone, certainly being favoured by Turki Al-Sheikh. Is that still the case? Like it must only be. Because why else would you want to appease a fighter who, by his own words, has retired. Like, I mean, by this logic, I want to say that Lennox Lewis should be number one, right? Like, it makes little, if any, sense. Or maybe Larry Holmes. Because they're all retired. So why is Tyson Fury being kept there? Is this a sop so that you might want to tease him back out of retirement? Is this a placeholder so if he gets up one morning and says, oh, I'm not retired, I'm going to come back, then you could slot him straight in to fight Alexander Usyk for, you know, that big payday money-making venture? Is it a sop to Frank Warren, who's got all the heavyweights signed up to him? Is it a way of trying to keep Frank Warren happy? On the flip side, is this a dig at Eddie Hearn, or is this a dig at Anthony Joshua? I mean, I don't know. I'm not any the wiser than anybody else watching this. But it just doesn't seem right. Like, what's good for the goose should be good for the gander. If you're going to keep Tyson Fury as number one, well, then put Anthony Joshua somewhere, right? Truly speaking, my own opinion, neither should be top 10 rated anymore. And you know, I have no issue with them both being rated, I don't know, 11 and 12. I've always thought, by the way, that Tyson Fury would beat Anthony Joshua in a hypothetical matchup. He's got better powers of recovery. He's probably the better, well, not probably, he is the better boxer. AJ has got more power, probably the better athlete. But I've always thought that Tyson Fury would win. So I'm not saying that AJ should be rated higher than Fury. I'm just saying that if it's fair to drop Anthony Joshua out of the top 10 based on his recent loss, is it not fair then to drop Tyson Fury out of the top 10 based on his recent loss and the fact that he has said multiple times, I am retired? Really? Like, can somebody answer this? Well, it's a hypothetical because, you know, rhetorical question because nobody can. But it really and truly, it makes no sense. And what it does, in my opinion, is it brings the ranking system into disrepute. Even if, like, relatively hardcore fans can't make sense of it, how can regular casual fans who tune in for the occasional fight make any sense of this at all? It would be like if your favourite football team has been, you know, is out of the Premiership, and yet you would still see them ranked highly within the Premiership. It's pretending. It's just nonsense, really. And it means now that whenever I look at the rankings published by the Ring magazine, I've got that nagging little doubt in the back of my mind, because I know that the heavyweight rankings are bullshit. I think, are these other weight class rankings now also bullshit? Which can't be good for boxing, it can't be good for the Ring magazine, and it also just generally, I think, brings the sport into further disrepute. That's my view. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Like if you like, share if you can, subscribe if you haven't, and I'm off to chase a ball around the golf course for at least 9 holes. Talk to you on the next one. Wherever you are in the world, have a fabulous day. Cheers.